All right. So one way that that the problems have been solved, or how to solve the problems of hungry people, is to get food to last longer. And I mean, all the other problems, the political problems and the weather problems, those problems are beyond the scope of this class. But if you're interested, you should look up and read about the political climate in some of these countries where people aren't hungry versus places where people are hungry, to help you understand, you know, what are all the complicated factors that cause widespread undernourishment. Something that's really helped the West and the developing countries is providing more efficient fertilizers. And okay, so one way that the reason why in the West, if you will, we don't have problems is because we have managed to produce more efficient fertilizers. So you can use less fertilizer. The way the fertilizer is taken into the soil has been improved. So more efficient fertilizers, which brings down the price. You don't have to use as much. More efficient fertilizers, and also genetically modified crops. Okay, so there's a lot of science that goes into farming, and one of them is genetically modified grains. And so the corn and the wheat and the soy that we're producing now provide larger yields due to the changes. Larger yields. Okay. It's not unlike breeding a dog for certain characteristics. You can breed seeds of these different grains to get certain characteristics, and therefore increase your crop yields. So so these types of things are going on in the West, but they're not so widely available to developing nations. So we can feed a lot of people, a lot more people per acre than we used to be. The other thing that is helpful is to get foods to last longer, so they don't spoil so fast. And so, for example, preservatives. And preservatives have been around for a long time. People have dried their food to preserve it, add salt and sugar to preserve it. The high concentrations of either of these, and the way high concentrations of a salt or sugar works is that the bacteria can't survive in these high salt or high sugar environments. That the osmotic pressure is not equalized across the bacterial cell membrane, and the water rushes out of the bacteria, killing it. So, and same for yeast and same for mold. So salt and sugar have been used for a long time. For example, pickling and jams and jellies is how, you know, it's called preservatives, like strawberry preserves, that sort of a thing, was to preserve the fresh fruits, and then salt was used a lot to pickle. Another thing that's been done over time is heating food. Heating food kills the bacteria. Chilling food, having better refrigeration, has allowed food to stay cold, and that doesn't kill the bacteria, but it slows the growth, and so food will last longer because the bacteria is growing slower at the colder temperatures. And then finally, food additives have increased shelf life to allow more food to be available for a longer period of time. And for example, baked goods like potato chips, well, not baked, fried, but cookies, cakes, that sort of thing, they'll become rancid after time because oxygen slowly reacts with the fats and oils that are in foods. Okay, so oxygen reacts. It's especially susceptible are double bonds. Carbon-carbon double bonds are susceptible to reacting with oxygen, which then breaks the bond, starts breaking down the fats, and forms free radicals, which can then go on and break more bonds. Okay, so it starts at the double bond in the fat, and then other bonds become susceptible to the free radicals, and that's what changes the color and gives the bad taste to a lot of foods that have fats and oils. So antioxidants is one type of food additive, very common type of food additive, a class of compounds called antioxidants, which serve to scavenge the free radicals. Okay, and it keeps the food fresher longer, basically. And two common antioxidant free radical scavengers, and you may have seen this if you read a food label, BHT, you may have seen before, or BHA, and these are just the chemical structures. This is just called butylated hydroxytoluene, and these are butyl groups, that's why it's called butylated. And this is the hydroxy group, and this benzene ring with a CH3, that's called toluene. So this is called butylated hydroxytoluene, but a lot of times on a food label it'll just be written as BHT, and it's an antioxidant. And then this is BHA, another common antioxidant, and it's called butylated, because here's the butyl group, hydroxyanisole. This molecule is called anisole. So they scavenge free radicals, and there's been no detrimental health effects, although they kind of look kind of nasty. Anytime you see, the toluene is, a pretty nasty solvent, but there have been no studies that have shown that either one of these are bad for you. But another food additive that's used sometimes in fats and oils to prevent oxidation and to scavenge the free radicals is vitamin E. Vitamin E works very similar. It's a free radical scavenger. Okay, so you'll see vitamin E added, BHT or BHA. Check food labels, you'd be surprised.